It's time now for Mark Meets, in which I speak to the biggest names in the world of politics, showbiz, sport and beyond. Tonight, a remarkable woman who fled the tyranny of Libya, overcame an eating disorder and managed to become the best possible example of a great British success story. Her incredible story is told in her brand new book, which is winning rave reviews, The Beauty of Pain. To tell me more about that and her remarkable journey, I'm delighted to welcome Enas Daeki. Great to have you on the show.
Oh my God, thank you, Mark. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, listen, what shocks me first
Yes.
is the fact that when you arrived in the UK, you didn't speak any English.
I didn't.
How old were you?
I was 20. I was 20 when I came here. I came 2011. I never studied English. Well, we did have English in our school, right? But it's not something I learned to speak, and I never took it seriously. So I still cannot type properly, Mark.
Well, neither can I. So that's two of us.
Yes.
But that's 11 years you've been in the UK,
Yes.
and now your English is perfection.
Yes, my English is good enough, but you will notice some mistakes. But I can communicate. People understand me. I love people. I can communicate, and normally my intention really get delivered.
What was happening in Libya when you left?
So when I left 2011, it was unsettled. So let me take you back a little bit, Mark. So my dad had fell down from the stairs in his head, and he had a concussion when I was 11 years old. So we used to come to the UK every 6 months for his treatment. So UK is something that I'm used to, something that I'm used to come here and just experience as a holiday, as a treatment. So 2011, my dad's treatment was due, so we were going to come anyway for his treatment. And the Libya war was unsettled, so it starts to...
Civil war, of course.
That's right. And then the NATO was there, so it was like you can tell there's something is about to happen. It was scary, but I refused to believe that, this is it. The war is starting. So we left Libya, we came to the UK, and then after that, it was so clear that Gaddafi got killed when it was a chaotic state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it could have got worse, well, it did after the death of Gaddafi.
It did get really unsafe.
What was your view of the Gaddafi regime?
It's funny, Mark. I just said I'll never speak about politics.
Well,
here's the thing, right? Yeah.
yourself.
It's fine. I will tell you my view, right? So I was a citizen. I was a citizen, a Libyan citizen in there. I don't know much about politics. But when I was living in Libya before with the Gaddafi regime, it was safe. Yeah. And now, as far as I know, it's not safe. So for me, if there is safety, then I'm good. You know what I mean? I understand all people make their mistakes. I get all of that. But as a citizen, the only thing that I wanted is a country that I'm safe in.
When Gaddafi died, it was chaos and disorder, and it hasn't
Yes.
been restored, has it?
It hasn't.
To a beautiful country,
Yeah.
a very sophisticated country, amazing natural landscape, amazing cuisine, amazing culture and history,
Yeah.
amazing people.
That's right.
Libya's a great country.
It is. It is. I loved it. You know what I mean? I was born in Libya. I was raised between a lot of beautiful souls. Do you know what I mean? I loved it. So it was a beautiful country. And now I haven't gone back since 2011. But the feedback that I get, the messages and the news, it's very unsafe.
So you're in the UK. It's 2011. Where are you living?
Notting Hill.
Notting Hill.
Yes.
And you start to learn the language.
I did.
And you start to build a life here.
That's right. That's right.
And tell me about that transition, because yes, you're visiting London every 6 months, but this is a culture shock, I would have thought.
It's massive, Mark. I won't say it was roses. It was the toughest experience. So I told you, I've left Libya with my sick dad. So we're expecting to have his treatment and go back to Libya. And one thing that I was doing is I was studying dentistry, right? So I was having these plans in my head that I'm going to go back to Libya and finish my studies and become a dentist, and life will go as normal. So when the war started and we've been advised to apply for asylum, back then I didn't even know what does that mean, right? And when we used to come live in central London, that's my view of the UK. So suddenly we applied for asylum. I found myself as a refugee. We've moved to Croydon. And back then, Croydon occurred to me as an unsafe place. I knew that I won't be able to go back and finish my studies, and I didn't know how long would that take. And then during that process, with everything going down, my dad had a massive stroke. So I was a daddy's girl, you know? So he wasn't able to speak, he wasn't been able to eat, he wasn't been able to move. I was devastated. Like that was they say the rock bottom.
Yeah, you rock bottom. So you lost your home.
Yeah.
You lost your professional ambitions, and to a degree, you lost your dad.
That's right. I've lost my dad. I did, because I was seeing him suffering, and I couldn't do anything about it, and it was painful.
And you're in your early 20s at this point.
That's right.
You're a young woman.
Yeah.
So how did you turn things around?
It's interesting, right? And I wrote a book about how can you overcome the challenges. But something that I will tell you, Mark, when they say when you seek, you find. And during that process, I've met people, like, it's funny how I met these people, but they helped me out. So one thing leads to another. So I've met a woman, her name is Ruby. She welcomed me to her flat. She introduced me to self-development. And then I started to change my view of life. But also during that process, when I was in the most painful time of my life, I'm just going to open up, Mark. So I did try to kill myself. I did try to take loads of pills and just end it, because I was like, this is too painful to be with it. Let me just finish it. It will be easier. And I didn't. I wasn't successful on that. But
was it on one occasion in particular that you tried to overdose on medication?
Yes. And it didn't work. I was in so much pain.
Would this be a year or two after you arrived? Do you know the timeline?
Probably 3 years. Yeah. When I was...
Absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
And did somebody find you?
Well, my mom helped me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. She literally, she helped me out. And I went to the hospital. I was fine. It wasn't so much pain, but I've just thrown it all out.
It's absolutely devastating, and thank God you survived that and you didn't revisit a moment that dark again, or
Yeah, I didn't. I never did. But I knew if I didn't die, therefore I'm living for something. I think that was, I won't take it back, Mark. In all honesty, I'll still go through it, because it really showed me that I have to make my life, a contribution for something.
Yeah, you're here for a reason.
Yeah.
You're here to make a difference. I mean, you're a very successful entrepreneur with a beauty agency, which also works with fashion brands.
That's right.
And that's fantastic. Maybe you could help me out with my hair and teeth.
I'm sure. You look great, Mark.
Listen, I think plastic surgery is in order. But what about the work you do as a refugee advocate?
Yeah.
And a very important part of your life now.
It is. It's massive, because I personally was a refugee for a long time. So I experienced it. I walked the talk. And I think one thing that I really would like to highlight is the refugees, especially women, they need to create their own business. There's a lot of support that they need to really think about being entrepreneurs and creating their own business, and they can be a massive use for the whole country, for them, their families, their country, and the UK. And
you're the best example of that.
Exactly.
And that's why I introduced you as a great British success story. And of course, you successfully achieved, you received asylum because you had a legal claim for that.
I did, yeah.
And that's an important part of the history of this country.
Yeah.
And the value of it is inestimable, I think.
Exactly. And I would like to highlight, Mark, this country does massively, it supported me massively, and it does support refugees. And there's still work needs to be done when the refugees, because these people, most of them don't speak English and they don't know where to go. So they need more support, but support is available. Do
you think it's unhelpful if others enter illegally? Is that something that undermines the refugee cause, do you think?
Personally, I don't know. I definitely think so. I understand the massive impact if they didn't come in a legal way. And also there's the flip side of it. Sometimes you just need to look, why did they have to risk their life to come to this country? Because they took a massive risk, do you know what I mean? For them to come to this country. So they're up to something. They really want, they want to find hope. So there's two sides of that story. It's a bit complicated.
I think it is. And you know what? A lot of these important human themes are developed in your book, which is a book I'm really looking forward to reading.
Yes.
And will you come back and see us soon? Because you're only down the road in Notting Hill.
Yes, I'd love to.
Congratulations on everything you've
Thank
achieved
you,
so far.
Mark.
And the story continues.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me, Mark.
Right, come back soon.
I will.
Amazing stuff. What a story. What a lady. There's the book, The Beauty of Pain, the 4 practices to transform pain into power. I'll take that. The wonderful Enas Daeki.